Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn and here's the headlines. Together for peace, security and resilience. Vietnam Defense Expo 2024 to feature various modern technologies. International Forum spotlights Vietnam's digital technology industry. On November the 20th, at the Presidential Palace, President Lương Cường received Armenian National Assembly President Alen Simonyan, who is on an official visit to Vietnam. President Cường expressed his delight at the achievements that the Armenian people have made in developing the country, with the people's lives improved and political stability and social order and safety maintained. The host affirmed that Vietnam attaches importance to the traditional friendship and multifaceted cooperation with Armenia. The party, state and people of Vietnam always appreciate the support of the Armenian people in the struggle for the country's national liberation and unification in the past and in the course of developing the countries nowadays. The guest noted that Armenia always seeks to increase discussion to promote cooperation with Vietnam in different fields. President Cường believes that the visit to Vietnam by the Armenian National Assembly President would contribute to developing the relationship between the two legislative bodies in particular and the friendly relationship between the two countries in general. After successfully concluding his participation in the G20 summit and bilateral activities in Brazil on the evening of November the 19th local time, morning of November the 20th in Hanoi, the special aircraft carrying Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, his spouse and the high-ranking Vietnamese delegation arrived at Las Americas Airport, Santo Domingo, the capital of the Dominican Republic. This marks the beginning of his official visit to the Dominican Republic at the invitation of President Luis Abinader and his spouse. This is the first time a key leader of Vietnam has visited the Dominican Republic, demonstrating Vietnam's respect and desire to further strengthen and deepen the solidarity, friendship and positive cooperation between Vietnam and the Dominican Republic, as the two countries approach the 20th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations. Over nearly 20 years, bilateral relations have developed positively. Trade turnover rose from $36.5 million in 2013 to nearly $150.2 million in 2022. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính visit is a historic milestone, enhancing political trust, deepening cooperation and creating momentum to expand economic, trade and investment ties in potential sectors. On the morning of November the 20th in Vientiane, Laos, the 18 ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting, ADMM18 for short, was held under the chair of General Chansakmon Chanyalat, Deputy Prime Minister and Defense Minister of Laos. General Phan Van Giang, Minister of National Defense, leading a high-ranking delegation of the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam, attended the event. The meeting adopted the Vientiane Joint Declaration, Together for Peace, Security and Resilience. After the opening remarks of the ASEAN chair, the meeting approved its agenda. On behalf of the high-ranking delegation of the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam, General Phan Van Giang expressed his belief that the Ministry of National Defense of Laos would successfully fulfill the chairmanship of ADMM and ADMM+, continue to strengthen solidarity and collective strength in ASEAN to respond flexibly and proactively to security challenges for a peaceful, secure and self-reliant region. General Phan Van Giang affirmed that Vietnam would provide the utmost support for Laos to fulfill its responsibility as the ASEAN Chair 2024. The delegates were briefed on the results of the ASEAN Defense Senior Officials meeting at Seoul, approved a number of key documents, including the guidelines for ADMM+, EWG observers, which were jointly developed by Laos, the Philippines and Singapore, a strategic framework titled ADMM and ADMM+ Ready for the Future by Brunei and Singapore, the assessment of the Observer Program in 2021-2023 period, and the proposal in the Observer Program in 2024-2027 period, the second ASEAN-US Maritime Exercise in 2025, and the agenda of the 11th ADMM+ Conference slated for November the 21st. The meeting concluded with the adoption of the Vientiane Joint Declaration, Together for Peace, Security and Resilience, which pointed out the influence of the complicated geopolitical and geostrategic situations to peace and stability in the region and the world. The joint statement laid emphasis on the importance of the ADMM and ADMM+ in the regional security architecture, which provides a framework for strategic dialogue and substantive defense cooperation, in which ASEAN plays a central role. The joint statement reaffirms ASEAN as an outward-looking community that values engagement and cooperation with ASEAN's dialogue partners and friends through ASEAN-led mechanisms with a view to promoting mutual trust and confidence, while maintaining and enhancing ASEAN centrality and unity, contributing to the common goals of maintaining peace and security and promoting resilience in the region and beyond. The joint statement reiterates the adherence to the fundamental principles and purposes enshrined in the Charter of the UN, the ASEAN Charter and the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia, in enhancing ASEAN centrality and unity and maintaining a rules-based regional architecture consistent with international law. For the benefit of the people, the joint statement also reaffirms the importance of the ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific, guiding ASEAN in its cooperation with its partners. The joint statement supports the full implementation of the 5-point consensus on Myanmar and reiterates Myanmar's commitment to finding a peaceful and durable solution to the current situation. The joint statement stipulates the commitment of all parties to work together peacefully and constructively to make the EC, internationally known as South China Sea, a sea of peace, stability and prosperity through the full and effective implementation of the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea and the early conclusion of an effective and substantive Code of Conduct in the South China Sea. In Vientiane, Laos, on the sidelines of the 18th ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting and the 11th ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting, plus Minister Phan Van Giang had a bilateral meeting with Lieutenant General Domingos Reup, Chief of Defense Forces of Timor-Leste, and Defense Ministers of Cambodia, Singapore, the Philippines, Thailand and Brunei to discuss measures to promote the bilateral defense cooperation. At the meeting with the Chief of Defense Forces of Timor-Leste, the two sides agreed with the fact that the Vietnam-Timor-Leste defense cooperation has achieved initial positive results over the past time. The leaders of the two defense ministries met on the occasion of multilateral events, while the military industry telecoms group VIET, operating in Timor-Leste under the brand name Telemor, is currently one of the largest telecommunications network providers in Timor-Leste. In addition, the two countries' militaries have supported each other at events organized by respective sides. On the sidelines of the ADMM 18, Minister Giang met with defense ministers of Cambodia, Singapore, the Philippines, Thailand and Brunei to discuss measures to promote bilateral defense cooperation. He respectfully invited them to the ceremony to celebrate the 80th founding anniversary of the Vietnam People's Army and the 35th anniversary of the Whole Country Defense Festive Day. On November the 20th, Senior Lieutenant General Phùng Sĩ Tấn, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army and head of the Organizing Committee of the Vietnam Defense Expo 2024, was briefed on the implementation of several exhibition spaces at the Vietnam Defense Expo 2024. The exhibition area includes a section introducing the 80-year tradition and achievements of the Vietnam People's Army, a section demonstrating, promoting, and introducing technology and digital transformation results of military agencies and units, and a section promoting defense economic products. Modern technologies such as virtual reality, 3D mapping, and holograms will be applied. The Vietnamese cultural space at the VIET 2024 is planned to include a central stage for performing arts programs, an exhibition area introducing typical and unique images, documents, and artifacts of Vietnamese traditional culture and the Vietnam People's Army, and an interactive area. The outdoor area of the exhibition will display nearly 70 types of weapons and equipment, including many modern, high-tech weapons and equipment researched and manufactured by Vietnam. General Tấn requested agencies and units to continue researching and completing the plans to effectively promote, introduce, and widely disseminate the image of the Vietnam People's Army, the country, and the people of Vietnam at this year's event. Coming up next, International Forum spotlights Vietnam's digital technology industry. Promoting environmental protection in fisheries sector. On November the 20th in Ha Long City, the Ministry of Information and Communications coordinated with the People's Committee of Quảng Ninh Province to organize the International Digital Investment Forum in Vietnam in 2024. The event saw the attendance of leaders of the Ministry of Information and Communications, experts and representatives of domestic and foreign enterprises. At the forum, participants shared about the current status and development orientation of Vietnam's digital technology industry. Accordingly, the digital technology industry has a revenue of $150 billion. Vietnam boasts top-tier programming talents, ranking among the world's top 10 countries for developer capabilities. The forum not only shares, introduces, and promotes Vietnam's potential in digital technology, but also contributes to promoting domestic and international cooperation in this field. Within the framework of the Vietnam International Digital Week, there will also be a workshop on policy and regulatory recommendations to promote service reliability in ASEAN and an ASEAN Information Officials Conference. To assess the outcomes and solutions for implementing environmental protection in fisheries activities from the central to the local levels, while also setting priorities for the management and environmental protection of the fisheries sector in the future, the Directorate of Fisheries under the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in collaboration with the International Union for Conservation of Nature, is hosting the 2024 Conference on Environmental Protection in the Fisheries Sector. Environmental contamination has a major effect on the fishing sector, which also contributes to it. The conference showcased a variety of local agencies and activities aimed at reducing the sector's impact on the environment. These include increasing awareness in major aquaculture areas and fishing ports, controlling plastic trash from fishing vessels, and implementing circular approaches to exploiting and processing waste to reduce waste discharge into the environment.
Các mô hình hiệu quả như là
Implementing water recirculating shrimp farming saves water, while multi-stage shrimp farming reduces and controls disease and waste. At the same time, we promote models that use biogas pits to collect trash and transform it into fuel. Additionally, we intend to use circular systems to convert trash into valuable. The first challenge is that production remains small-scale and collecting enough waste for recycling is difficult. The second challenge is that while many people understand the importance of waste collection, there are still many who do not realize that this process is essential for our own protection. The sector's environmental protection goals for 2030 include eliminating the use of harmful chemicals in aquaculture, ensuring that 80% of seafood enterprises and 30 to 50% of fishermen are trained on fishery-related environmental protection laws, and expanding circular economy. This is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.